Funny enough, I keep running into Canadians everywhere I go, but oh well. That was dumb. Hey, welcome to MTB Michigan. My name is Rob. I am a pastor, I'm an avid mountain biker, and I'm a recently confessed big guy. And before I get into today's video, a couple of things I wanted to address. Number one, I apologize. I am actually videoing this in my backyard. It's been, this is the third attempt I've had to try and make this intro. And the first two, for whatever reason, my recording equipment decided it does not want to record anymore. So I'm on take 3. The second thing I want to say is I noticed that recently I jumped from like 30 some to 100 subscribers, 110 at the moment in a matter of a little over a week. And I just wanted to say I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to subscribe. So with that, today I want to talk about 3 big challenges, 3 hurdles that every big mountain biker faces every time we get on the bike. And how this came about was I was on Instagram and I saw my friend the Duke of MTB had posted some pictures. And Duke of MTB YouTube channel, Michigan rider, really cool guy. And I saw he posted some pictures up at Boyne Highlands. And in one of those pictures was a Canadian mountain biker and YouTuber who goes by the name of Toogie Hauser. And Toogie's got a great channel. I've been watching it for a while. He's got a pretty successful channel at this point. And you know, I thought, gosh, it would be really cool if I could ride with him. So I looked up his Instagram, you know, to see if he had posted anything about where he's going to be. Found out he was going to be at the DTE trails. And I said, ooh, that would be cool. So I sent him a message, and then, you know, we kind of find out that, yeah, he can ride it on a day I can ride, or he's going to ride it on a day I can ride it. And, you know, ultimately, then I realized I'm inviting myself to somebody else's ride and vacation. So it didn't work out that we rode together, but it did get me thinking about these 3 challenges that big guys face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about all 3 of these challenges, and then I'm going to offer, you know, what I've learned, and possibly put some links or in the bottom in the description of this video, and we'll go from there. But the first thing I thought about, if I was to ride with somebody who's got a big YouTube channel, it's embarrassing. What would I wear? And make sure, you know, am I going to break something on the ride? So the first challenge that big guys face, we'll just categorize it all and call it gear. Gear is ever changing, ever improving, but unfortunately, you know, even if companies say they make stuff for big guys, a lot of them don't. So like a case in point, I bought a set of size 5XL winter riding pants that I was sure would fit me because they were actually up to 54-inch waist. And got so excited I got them, and they were not, no, they were not 54-inch waist. As a matter of fact, those pants are currently, my son uses those because he was working at a hockey rink, and my son is like a 32-inch waist, and they're not big on him. So yeah, there was that experience with the pants, and then there was another experience. My race team, we got these jerseys, and I purposely bought this one big, thinking, you know what, I'll have room because I don't really like the quote-unquote roadie look jersey. So I bought a jersey for the MTB Life team in 4 or 5X and thought I would have room. Well, here's a story about that. I have not worn that jersey but one time because it was so stinking tight. So there's that. It is that tight around my head. Oh, I feel like a tick about to pop. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's got a slimming effect. That's good. Oh my goodness. I can't breathe. But anyway, just on the subject of gear with clothing. Long story short, only place I have found is Aerotech on the web, and they make great shorts and they make baggies and spandex shorts. And honestly, though, the baggies have a little bit of a weird waistline, or at least the pairs I've had from them have a bit of a weird waistline which seems to roll down. So what I find myself doing is, being a big guy, honestly, wear the spandex. Because you need the padding, you need the chamois padding, especially as you get going. So, you know, what I found myself doing is buying the spandex chamois and wearing the a pair of shorts that I bought from, like, cargo shorts over them, and that seemed to work. Of course, being Scottish, I can wear a kilt. Anyway, so I found that to work. On the jersey side, though, honestly, they have the roadie jerseys again, and I'm not a fan of those. So what I did is actually talk to my mother, who does custom embroidery, and found a company that makes a jersey, or I think they're called 365 Gear, and they make short and long sleeve Cool Max jerseys that are sized for everybody. So I actually have those in short and long sleeves, and they work out very well. So that's what I do with those. And then when it comes to riding gear, honestly, I mean, not riding gear, but the bikes and stuff like that, several manufacturers are now posting weight limits on their websites. You know, let's just face it, we are going to have to be prepared to break stuff. And we, you know, do the best we can to ride as safely as we can, but we're going to be potentially prepared to break stuff. So that is obstacle number one. We are on the big Kame loop now, going clockwise at DTE, and this is a perfect chance to talk about the second problem that big riders face, and that's momentum. When you're a big guy, your momentum really gets shifted easily. Gravity plays with us all the same in terms of up and down vertical. But when it comes to the direction of a hill and then an uphill, there's a whole new world for the momentum. Now, I'm going to be doing a whole video specifically talking about momentum, but excuse me. But with the size of hills here, it's easy to see how momentum can affect a big guy differently. No pedal, couldn't even make it up that. See what I mean? That's a huge hurdle that your big counterparts have to face on every ride. Now, like I said, I'm going to be doing a whole video specifically about big guys encountering momentum issues. But a couple of quick things that I can say is, one of the first issues a big guy faces to help overcome momentum is really how to read the trail. Learn to be farther ahead up the trail than you would expect. Now, everybody's got to read the trail, but as a big guy, it's more important for you to scan, because even on a downhill, a root or a rock, such as those up there, can grab your back tire and slow down your momentum. So learning to scan the trail and pick your line, something like that or whatever, is very important. I think I'm supposed to go this way, guys. Sometimes it's just about finding the smoothest line possible, which, safe to say, everybody does that. But with a big guy, like I said, it's just a little more critical, because if you take the smoothest line possible, you're going down a hill and you roll into an uphill, you have more potential to make it up. Just crossing back over from Wind Loop to Big Cane. So now we're back on Big Cane, trying to get back to the car. This gives me a chance to talk a little about the third thing that, third hurdle bigger guys have to overcome, and that's the mind. You know, the other two things I mentioned can really... Oh, we're gonna jump first. Gear, clothing can really play into your psyche. Stuff breaks all the time, you get depressed. Stuff isn't functioning properly, it gets hard to deal with. It gets discouraging. So I fully understand that can play into the mind game. Shoes don't fit properly. Having to wear stuff that's not fully designed for biking, shorts, whatever, takes away from the experience and makes it a little harder to really build emotional momentum, which really plays on the mind game. Physical momentum, not being able to keep a flow, to keep, you know, sometimes having to walk up every hill, that plays on your mind. You know, having to ride up a hill like this. Does this look fun? No, but try carrying 300 plus pounds up it. When you succeed, though, that's where the mind is good, because you feel a sense of accomplishment. I encourage you to push into that. But your mind will play tricks on you. I don't want to get off the couch. It doesn't matter anyway. I haven't lost any weight. Why should I do this? That kind of thing. That'll play with you like crazy. And it's a mental game that you have to find a way to overcome. Here's an example of beating your mind. I couldn't make the hill. This is that rock garden section on Big Cane. And I tried, and I couldn't make the first section of rocks. So I walked. And, you know, at this point, I'm tired. And my body says, you know what, just stop a bit. Stop and make it happen. Get some relaxation. But, you know, the flip side of that is I can't listen. This is where you gotta beat your mind. You gotta overcome what you think. And you gotta work. Yeah, I could have rested. I don't think it would have been the right thing to do. Here's the other rock garden. I think the right thing to do was for me to keep pushing past how I feel. A little tired and keep going. But so often, we just want to give up. So, when that third battle is your mind, what's inside your head, the naysayer part of your mind, you got to fight it. You got to work past it. Yeah, I walked a hard hill, but I never stopped. I'm going. I'm pressing forward. I will today, for the first time, have done all 3 of the current open loops at DTE at the same time. And that's a feat that I have not yet accomplished. So, as much as my mind says no, gotta overcome it and work a little harder, dig a little deeper, and press towards my real goal. At this point, my real goal is not meeting Toogie Howser. My real goal is finishing all 3 loops of DTE. And for the third hurdle, the mind game, let me just say, there are a lot of different ways that people cope with things and deal with things. Myself, I mean, let's face it, if we're big people, we're trying, you know, and we're active, because I've always been active. And let me put this caveat. I have always been active. People tell me, oh, you know, you're just starting out, you'll get there. No, I've been riding every single year of my life. And, you know, whatever, injury happens, sickness happens, you know, oddball things happen. That's me. That's my story. It's a long one. But, you know, long story short is people cope with things. People cope with things in different ways. And how I do it is, you know, I'm working on my diet. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. But I found out that if I do it, this is just how I do it. If I'm focusing on all those things, I gotta ride miles, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta blah, blah, blah. I find myself getting too rigid, legalistic, and burned out quickly on it. So what I do is I try to have fun with everything I do. It just seems to work for me. So I don't focus on exercising. I focus on the fact that I love to bike. I focus on how I like to bike, and I bike that way as much as possible. Unfortunately for me, I had a varied background done, cross country, I've done downhill, I've done endurance racing, I've done road racing, I've done BMX. So I've got a very diversified background, and I can kind of challenge myself accordingly because of that. Basically, what I mean is, long story short, what I do is if I'm riding, I say, you know what? I think I can do this section a tiny bit faster. Or I think I can go a little farther today. And so that's how I begin to push myself without it being some kind of a legalistic thing. So that's just how I do it. And I thought I'd share that one with you. And so that's about it. I think this might be the last real downhill on Big Cane before I go back to Green Loop. And we're back to green and on our way to the car. So there we go. Green, Big Cane, and win. All in one day for a fat guy. Backwards. I'm pretty happy with that ride. Only I never saw a Toogie Hauser. Oh well. Anyway, I just appreciate you guys watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Live the faith, ride it out, and I hope to see you on the trail.